Folks, ladies and gentlemen, we've taken you on 53 episodes of madness, of System of a Downage, of tunage. This is Polymuse. My name's Ben.
My name is Michael.
What is going on, folks? We're glad to have you here. We want you to be here. We're excited to have you.
Today, we are tackling Serj Tankian's 5-track project released March 19th, 2021, Elasticity, the project that he stated would be a collection of System of a Down songs had they continued to agree on how to pursue in recording them.
And that's why we're doing them. These are the 5 songs that he was... this kind of, to me, what that means is that these are the 5 that he was saving for System, or that he had in mind for them.
Yep.
And that now that they got back together and only recorded 2 songs,
Yeah.
it's like, to me, this is like the final nail in the coffin, maybe, to where it's like they had the chance to do some stuff. They did do some stuff. These are the other ones he wanted to do, and then he just did them by himself. So to me, that means maybe they are finally done, and this is kind of the final little tiny epilogue chapter of System of a Down here, possibly.
Yeah, that's kind of what it seems like, right? I mean, things could always change in the future, but that's
Get
certainly...
more Scars on Broadway.
Yeah. So this was originally slated for 2020, but again, as covered last episode, when conflict did break out over in their home territories, they did come together for Protect the Humanoids and Protect this land. Not Protect the Humanoids.
Protect some of the
Protect
humanoids
from
the
homeland
ones that are
and
the bad humanoids.
Yeah, and
that are trying to kill the other humanoids.
I have the song.
Live a life.
The 2 tracks.
Don't do genocide.
Yeah.
Protect your land. Protect your humanoids.
Yes. So they did the 2 tracks together, but this project where they couldn't agree on anything was ultimately pushed out. It also messed with the Scars of Broadway recording process that Darren had in place as well. They just couldn't agree on anything but those 2 tracks for charity ultimately.
Because he's so busy doing so many things. Like, we should say Serj has a lot more solo albums. We've mentioned it before. It's like we're only doing this tiny snippet, but he has music in a variety of genres that he's done all throughout since they've broken up.
So a few of them. So Elect the Dead came out in 2007, a couple years after their dual project release as System of a Down. Imperfect Harmonies in 2010, Hirikari into 2012, Orca Symphony No. 1 in 2013, Jazz is Christ 2013, tongue-in-cheek, Funktronic in 2020, and then actually Darren and the Scars on Broadway came out in 2018 to kind of put our timeline in there. And then
Darren and the Scars on Broadway, and Darren, and don't forget Darren, and also Darren.
Yep, so that fit in there before Funktronic, but then Elasticity in 2021, and then he released a series of poetry as well at this year, 2021.
Incredible. These songs are cool. This is my kind of music where it's different. It's not like trying to fit into a certain style. Each song is not trying to like necessarily fit with the other songs, except to kind of just paint the full picture. Almost like the way the Smashing Pumpkins or somebody would do an album. They've got like a heavy metal song and an acoustic song and an electronic song, and like from song to song it doesn't make sense, but then you realize that it's each of the different palettes to make up like one complete picture.
You have to wonder if there were like 20 tracks they had, and then he ended up finishing just 5 because they're all very different. Right. So I have a piece of a quote I parceled out here from a 2020 Rolling Stone interview. They are really interesting and beautiful songs, going from really heavy type of System-esque type of music to really beautiful ballady, including piano and string arrangements and stuff like that, which we can clearly hear. So it's just quite diverse for just 5 songs. And thematically, it's quite diverse as well. A song about terrorism, a song about protests in Armenia years ago, a song about my son Rumi, kind of also cut with the poet Rumi in a way. It's an homage to the poet Rumi and his namesake, basically, in a way, and a few other pieces. So it's kind of all around the place, as everything
all
I
around
do
the place
is.
All around. Yeah, he really is all around the place. That's my favorite part of Serj. I think that's what I latched onto as a kid, was that alternative aspect. Like, I love alternative musicians where they've got their own weird spin. I love They Might Be Giants. I love Smashing Pumpkins. I love a lot of, I could go on, but in any given genre, I like the guys who want to tweak it, not afraid to be kooky, not afraid to be funny. Frank Zappa always went there. A lot of guys go there where they are like the serious, the kookiness, and they're not afraid to be perceived incorrectly, basically.
Yeah.
Like the art means what it means, and if you don't understand it, they are not really concerned with your opinion anyway.
So 2021 here, we had a number of, I've got just a few quick hitters here in our movie. It's kind of our nostalgia category, movie, music. We want to touch on that briefly because it was so recent. We do have, so Billie Eilish released Happier Than Ever. Nas was still released. I mean, he still releases music, but King Disease 2. Suicide Boys. We actually just stated that they had a ton of streams this year. Long-Term Effects of Suffering. And a number of artists. Halsey, If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power. Kanye released Donda. And of course, he's all over the airwaves now. Drake, Certified Lover Boy. Imagine Dragons, Mercury, Act 1. Lady Gaga released a project with Tony Bennett called Love for Sale. I will have to listen to that. I did not realize that.
They're besties.
Yeah, and an album called Dawn of Chromatica as well. Ringo Starr, the Change the World EP.
All right.
Limp Bizkit released Still Sucks, their 6th album.
Did they really do that?
Yeah.
Good for them.
Adele released 30. Ed Sheeran released Equal. Tory Lanez, an artist that I like a lot in the hip-hop genre, released Alone at Prom. And he's been, as an independent artist, actually experimenting in a little bit of rap and hip-hop. And that was kind of a nostalgic throwback 80s type vibe album, which was very interesting since we're tackling something a little different here. Weezer released OK Human.
That's a good Weezer.
Of course, we're all over in the superhero genre for movies. Venom, Spider-Man, No Way Home, The Eternals, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, we're all in that particular area. The Suicide Squad 2, you're a big DC guy. Ghostbusters Afterlife. And we had some other hitters. The Conjuring series continued with The Devil Made Me Do It. Coda went for, was at least nominated for Movie of the Year. Pig with Nicholas Jackson in a more serious role. Quiet Place 2. Did you ever see any of those movies?
Did you see those?
I did. Very good.
Are they quiet?
They are quiet for good chunks of the movie. Very articulate in what you're watching on screen. Very well done. We'll have to watch them. The Power of Dog did very well at the awards as well. And we had a West Side Story reboot.
Did you see that?
I did not.
We'll have to see.
I know. We did have the 2020 Summer Olympics hosted in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Of course, they were pushed, so that was a big event as well. Did have a presidential changeover here in the United States. And weirdly enough, searching through this, we had one of the largest storms in North America here in decades. We had more areas of the country in the United States alerted than in 15, 16 years. More storm damage than in almost 30 plus years. It was one of the most expensive natural disasters to ever hit Texas, as it caused hundreds of estimated billions of dollars in damages in that state alone, as it ripped from Mexico all the way up to the United States, middle, south, east coast, all the way up through Canada. So just worth noting that as well as a point in my research. Just crazy.
Not as crazy as Serj Tankian's new EP, The Elasticity.
Let's tackle our 5. Oh, let's touch on the album cover real quick.
What the heck is it?
I don't have a ton of background on. I don't have much background on that.
Weird.
But it's very interesting.
Why is it 2 heads?
Oh, isn't that interesting? Two-faced in multiple colors.
It's weird. I wonder if it's a reference to him and Darren.
Could be. Let's keep that in mind as we tackle our 5 tracks here, starting with
Crush 'em.
Elasticity.
Starting with the title track. There you go. We got it in the context for you. That's what we're dealing with. That's the year. That's where he's dropping this nugget. That's the musical landscape.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it keeps up with a lot of what you were saying, like kookiness of Lady Gaga and different hip-hop stuff and different electronic stuff. It's like, this keeps up better than that Scars on Broadway thing did. Like, this is more, he's got some experimental cutting-edge stuff in here, man. So let's give him a rip. Here is the title track.
Elasticity. So it starts with a typical kind of System of a Down thing where it's a little wild. Papa, 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 where are you going, BB? Actually, it starts with a belch. But it's a wild,
like a really weird synth riff.
Yes, weird. And that's how some of the reviews, it had mixed reviews on the album, but weird was a common adjective used to describe it.
It's honestly kind of what they used to sound like, where he's like doing all like weird vocal stuff. That's what they used to do a lot. I mean, it's not, this one honestly sounds like something that would be on almost the first album. Like if you took the synth stuff out.
Yes, that's it. More synths in here, like Scars of Broadway.
Yeah, they're both
which is interesting, right?
They're both filling out the space with. I mean, they needed it. They were such a tight power trio that if you lose that groove, what do you fill the space with? Except for, you you got to throw some synths on there. It sounds great. It sounds unique. It reminds me of the album cover where it's just different colors, different palettes.
Yeah.
It's like a rainbow of sounds. The guitar sounds weird. The vocal harmony is weird. It's all like, it's cool, man. I mean, it's taking it to the next level. Like, it's taking System to a new direction.
New kind of year, I guess, here.
New wave.
Advanced future. I do like the music video. It's a Russian actress, Alexandra, just spelled a little differently than we do in English here, America here. Alexandra Bortich. I recognized her. I don't know what I've seen her in for sure. I don't know how high her, if she's A-list celebrity for sure, but I certainly recognized her. It seems like she's kind of in a crazy institution there. And just a never-ending row of people, and she gets up and can't find her seat, and it just gets a little crazy. Meanwhile, she has this patch on her arm, and at one point she takes it off, and it's a tattoo with Serj in it, and his head's moving and singing to her, kind of like a Harry Potter novel where the pictures move.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to have, I think, to some folks, a familiar actress in one of these music videos and have kind of a cool element with him as a singing tattoo. So it's not as vibrant as some other music videos. We talked about how stylish their 2 music videos for the new System of a Down releases are, and he's got music videos for almost every song on this, which are very cool.
Yeah, like a lot of the 4 out of the 5.
Yeah, this isn't one of the more vibrant on the color palette, but it's just kind of cool.
What do you grade a song like that?
I gave this song a B. I think it's certainly re-listenable. It's something I dial up to play. Got that System of a Down vibe. I'd actually do better without some of the synth stuff. It actually dabbles. I wish it was more. I don't think like punk rock when I think this, like some of their driving stuff. I don't really think System of a Down. It's a little weird. It's just a little weird for me.
I give it a B+. I think it's a step in the right direction. I don't want to. I was thought about even giving it an A-, but I knocked them down a little bit. It's new wave, dude. They've got a new way to throw some synth in there to do some whatever they got to do. Like, it's a new page, and maybe we'll never get to read that page. Maybe we will. I'm sure there's stuff in Serj's solo career that is similar enough to this to kind of get that itch scratched. But as far as like a new System idea, taking their sound forward, this is a B+ for that. All
right. I mean, we do have some lyrics, some writing in here amongst the weirdness, but if there's writing on this whole album, it's just a little just weird to me. But B+ for you, B for me. Let's talk about your mom.
There we go. Let's talk about your mom.
Your mom.
Same mom. Same your mom. Is it Serj's mom? No, who's ever listener's mom.
Yes.
This song kind of rocks. Let's play it. Here you go, guys. Hit it.
This song sounds more System of a Down-ish to me.
Starts with that acoustic.
Starts with the acoustic. It's certainly more vulgar like System of a Down would be.
Yeah.
We have like 3 verses. We have a whole dense lot of writing on this, but this is just more System of a Downy to me. Although it does get kind of weird on the verses instrumentally when he kind of drops everything out. This has kind of got a weird tinge again. The way he's singing, his voice is kind of weird to me.
It's cool how they put the acoustic and electric together. He definitely he's doing a thing where he's got like 2 different voices together.
He's very like nasally and one.
He probably wanted Darren to sing that part. Like, he's got where it's like him trying to do 2 different voices, basically. It's kind of cool. It rocks. It's like metal, but it's kind of its own style of metal yet again. That's even different from the beginning. And it goes into like some kind of string solo. I don't know if it's like a classical guitar or what, but it's some kind of like Armenian sounding. Like,
it is.
They shred on whatever instrument that is.
It's fantastic.
And like drums, like hand drums, and that's a cool breakdown.
That's like system-y.
It's
right?
very it's something System would have done.
I like the song. It's just part of his vocal range in the one part is just very. I wish we could have done something with the range. But I like what we're doing as far as the instruments. I like what we're doing as far as the writing. I like everything else. We don't have a music video for this one. Not a real music video.
It basically is, though. I mean, it's a lyric video, but it's like Serj performing behind the lyric video.
Yeah.
Like, it's basically...
And some imagery. Yeah.
It's like more expensive than some of the System videos.
Yeah. The ending is great as well. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 72 virgins. Nah, bro. It's a great ending.
Yeah, he's being critical of, people's why, they are convinced to go to war. Like, he's just attacking the whole idea of what kind of ideology would ever lead someone to believe that they need to participate in warfare, basically, is what I take from it. And he's just saying, like, nah, brah.
I give this track an A-, despite. I love most of it, despite some of the weird vocals, but that could grow on me.
I give it a B-. I like it.
A-.
A B-, yeah. I like it. It's nothing that is like super incredible. It's like kind of a different blend of stuff. Like if you took the 10 best elements from Steal This Album and put it into a new track, but had like a slightly better guitar, but it's not as good as Elasticity, so I'll give it a B-.
Okay. How many times?
Let's let him rip.
Track. We've got more writing on this one. We've got fully formed
piano.
Verses, fully formed choruses.
It's like opera.
Yes, this is
like classical opera.
The classical opera. There's also so much that it sounds. This is where it gets, and I think I told you off mic here, that it starts to get like rock opera or like a play. Mm-hmm. This should be in a rock opera, a rock play. It's just very it's a lot of almost story and vocals for what we're doing instrumentally. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't seem like it fits.
You don't want to hear System do this one?
No.
It's cool. There's something about it where it just kind of feels like it's intense, but it's the kind of intense that kind of just rolls along in the background. Like it's almost like background music. Like for what it is, it's like almost just kind of doesn't really grab you.
Yeah, the music video is phenomenal.
It's something
phenomenal.
It's a lot of stop motion stuff. It's all kinds of everything. They must have had this is like a film. Like you could just analyze this video for a whole podcast.
Yeah, we've got a whole adventure going on a guy's laptop, basically.
There's like Tusken Raider guys. It's basically like a simulated reality.
Yeah, watching a war. How many times referring to war and going to war and setting off to war. But some of the masks that these characters have in the battle sequences are just wild and pretty cool. And there's a quote from Rumi in it as well. The late poet that is interwoven throughout some of this as well.
And they put a bunch of kids in soldier costumes and send them out. It's pretty dark. There's a lot of really intense imagery. It's kind of upsetting. The people are like running away. They keep getting away. And then like bigger and bigger like machines and stuff keep trying to kill them. And it's a cool technique. I don't know if I've really seen something where it's a bunch of stop motion mixed with like real footage like that. And it cuts back and forth. That's like pretty incredible. I feel like it's weird because it's like a music video is like a throwaway thing in a lot of times to just promote a song, to promote a record, to promote a tour, to promote.
And sometimes it's a guy in a warehouse with a few splicings of something, and this is like
a whole movie of like a whole concept.
Yep, this is a budget. There's a big old budget to this. Yes. What did you grade this?
Like C.
Okay.
Like a C. It's average. I'm not gonna pull this one up. I like the piano and like strings and whatever that was. I wish System had done some of that. They do some of it a little bit towards the end.
Yeah.
It's not like I said, something about it just makes me think it's like background music. It's something about the melody or something about the guitars that just like I want to watch an action movie to this, and the music video is kind of cool, but the song itself, I don't think it like stands on its own.
This is one of these where it's very much Serj's artistic child, and if the rest of System of a Down was brought in, you'd have to think that it would sway a different direction audibly. Something else would be done, because Darren does not create this kind of music.
No, that's a good point. The Darren stuff is like more serious in some ways. Like he did have a couple tracks.
Yeah.
Where it was like, let me look at, because I don't even remember what they're just so similar. The one I'm thinking of is like,
I give this a C+. I do think it's again unique, not necessarily unique to what he does though. And I don't know that all the elements quite come together. It's not a bad song. Music video I think is cool personally. Even in the darkness and the prosecution, like it's important to get that right. And it's part of the human experience, of course. And I think the way that he portrayed it is very, very different and very interesting. So I give this a C+. Yours was a C.
Hitting them with the C and the C+. And let's do Rumi, the next track on the album. So this is like a power ballad.
Yep.
This is like a rock opera. This is like a lot of stuff all crammed into one song.
It feels like part of a Christmas song. Am I wrong on that?
You might be right. He plays piano really good.
Yeah.
I don't know what Christmas song. I mean, you mean the melody is kind of...
There's chords. Some of the chords are the same as something. I got stuck in my head. We got another music video. Black and white.
Bunch
children
of weird
in the sand.
henna tattoo
on the
stuff.
Beach,
yeah.
Different symbols.
Basically what he wants his kid to just be his own person type of idea.
Yep. And it also relays back to the poet of the 13th century of Rumi. And his love was a big preaching of his as well. And love and his child, I believe, is the big connection here.
It's intense. The chorus gets like pretty intense. He's like matching that like acoustic. He does this, I guess, a lot on this album where he's matching like acoustic instruments with the really distorted guitars. So that sounds cool.
Yeah. So journey, peace, love, and wisdom are the 4 different signages, writings on the people in this music video. So fine song drawing the relation between his child and a poet and love and developing and growing.
But are you gonna pull this up?
No, we see artists do songs like this. Aaron Lewis has Zoe Jane on the Stained, one of Stain's albums, which is actually pretty good. But there's just different things like this.
It's too personal. It's too... I mean, it's cool and it's moving, but it's like...
And again, the writing is overreaching what you're doing, like what you're playing. This is what you hear in a rock opera, you know?
Yeah.
Or a play.
I give it a C-. I think it's the type of thing you have to have if you want, for an artist to do a song for a family member or do a song for whoever. But I mean, it's cool that he's a dad and all. It's just hard to rock out and be like, yeah, I love Serj's son too. Like it's just a little too specific to rock out to like that. It's like, it's cool. I appreciate it, but
I'm going to give it a C. There are elements of it that are still really cool, and you can kind of, sometimes you just don't really listen to the words. You can sing to parts of it, and this is kind of one of those songs. I will note that the Rumi, the Persian poet, has been translated into every different language, a lot of different languages, and his writings are distributed worldwide. Just worth noting there that he's a big influence around the planet. But yeah, just not a song that I, like you said, am pulling up and listening to for
I don't know, any
part of the lyrical writings or interpretations. I just don't think the rest of the song fits to like, it just sounds good audibly.
Yeah. Stay away from crime, good idea. Stay away from God. Don't know if that's a good idea. Probably not a good idea. He's got his own philosophy. Not exactly sure what it is, but it's interesting that he's invested in the kid. You know what I mean? There's people who don't think 1% of these concepts about their own kid. So
do we want to tackle the alt version real quick while we're on here? Which is technically the 6th track on the song.
Talk it, walk it, drop it.
4 and 6 are the main and alt versions.
Yeah, we'll play it at the very end. We'll leave that as the outro to the episode. But yeah, the alt version's cool. It's piano and violin, and he took out a lot of the electric guitar, basically. It probably builds more as it goes. And
yeah, it sounds good if you cut him out.
You think? A little too rock opera for you?
It's just, it doesn't fit, man. It doesn't fit.
This is Rumi's theme song, so I don't think that's how he wanted it to be. So
I just
C-
I
again.
Don't like it.
D+.
Yeah, actually, we like to elevate the acoustic songs because some of those they're just better. It's better to strip out some of the manufactured sounds and keep it raw. And so we like to bump those up a little bit, but not in this particular case. I'm going to keep it a C.
I'm going to give it, same identical C-. I kind of like them both, but only a little bit. Like, I like that he did it. You know what I mean? I like the tones of it. I like the production of it. It's just something about it where it's like too specific.
Close to D territory. That's like, if it comes on, I'm not skipping it, but also I might.
I'm glad it's not even that it's about his kid. It's like, it's just that it's like a rock opera thing. It's like, it's cool that he did that and that it exists and that he tried it and that it's like this piece of music, but it's not something that I'm necessarily...
It's song number 2 on the 20-track rock opera of his life. They play this in Act 1,
right?
10 minutes in, after they had a meal at the dinner table, and they're transitioning to the next scene where he's outside playing ball. Yeah.
This is how much I love you.
Yeah.
Listen to it again.
And it ties in and has a parallel with the poet Rumi. Yeah.
Cool.
There you go.
Here you go. Final song, Electric Yerevan, kicking them to it. Another music video, dude. They must have had unlimited music video budget for this, or they must have just said, like, look, no one will listen to this unless it has a music. I don't know, man. This song rock. Again, synth and electric guitar mixed.
Yeah, which is a weird mix in this case, but it sounds like System of a Down Serj, like what he's hitting here.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's another one where they're like talking about, he's like hitting you with facts and not statistics, but he's just like explaining exactly what happened in like a protest. It's just one of those songs where
we don't want to be the bitch of any superpowers.
Yeah,
color revolutions fade. We want cheap power. Electric, electric, electric. We say no to corruption and no to plunder. Billionaire playgrounds are going under. Electric, electric, electric. Brutal police crackdowns with water cannons serve to irrigate the seeds of discontent and malcontent. Civil disobedience working like a charm. Just like prison song.
It's a lot like prison song. I don't care. That's like a genre at this point. He can just do that in every song. He can just do the megaphone thing and talk, and they get extra points for that. I give him a B+. It's really good. I don't think it deserves an A.
It's long again. The music video is kind of cool. We do have like electric lightning bolts going through. Serj is popping up.
The hey, hey, hey is a little much.
Yeah, it's fist pumpy.
I like it, but he could have, I mean, you know.
Revolution. And we have splicings of conflict in the music video as well.
Yeah, the video is crazy. That's something to watch there, where it's a bunch of, it looks like fake staged protests, but then they put it with actual protest footage, but then it's all like fitted together with like electricity. So it looks like the electricity is going in and out of the people. There's some of this footage is real and some of it's staged. That's funny.
I don't think Serj need to be in the music video. It looks a little tacky.
They like cut to him. Yeah, it's weird. They cut to him as like a deity, like singing and like controlling the lightning, but then they like cut to him like actually on a stage.
The music video is
like two Serjs in the video.
Yeah, the music video is like an A-, but it could have been higher if they took out some of the tackiness of him just standing there. But there's some bad music videos. Not a fan of music videos in general because some of them are just so blah. You gave this song, I give it a B-, one of the better, more fitting songs on the track, and you gave it a C.
Yeah, a B+.
B+.
Yeah, it's good. If this was on System, this would be a song. Like if this had like a little bit of a Darren tinge to it too, like if it had 1% Darren in there,
we go.
This would be like as good as something on the Hand album or something on like not the cream of the crop of Toxicity, but like up with that type of writing and playing. And it's the way they put the riffs together, and it's the way what they do with what they've got. Like, I don't care if it's really simple, if it's like a compact thing, but if it's the type of thing where it's like, oh, you could have done more with that.
Yeah.
Then they should have done more with it. This is like, these are all right in that middle pocket where it's enough writing. They kind of finished it off. Some of those Scars songs were unfinished. They could have like done another pass.
Probably.
Like written. They're just too repetitive. These, they get in, they get out. They do what they do that's unique. Kind of hit you with it. Like, oh, here's this little flavor. Bye. I like that a lot. I think that's a way you should write an album, honestly. I mean, I want them both to write it together, but if I had to pick one or the other, I'd pick Serj over just a straight Darren. Like, if only one, I want them to write together, but it's like I've said already, Serj seems to be the Paul McCartney of the group, and Darren seems to be the John Lennon of the group, and they both wrote really good songs on their own, but everyone thinks that the best songs they wrote are the ones they wrote when they were together. So even when they were writing by themselves together, those songs are still a lot more memorable than a lot of the stuff they did separately. So it's just the way it goes.
So your grades: Elasticity B+, Your Mom B, How Many Times C, Rooney C-, Electric B+, and for me, Elasticity B, Your Man A-, How Many Times C+, Rooney C, Electric B-. Do you think this album as a whole, if you were to take these 5 songs, take into the other 3 guys and say we're going to work on these together and remaster them, remix them, rebuild them, and re-release, would your grades be higher or lower?
Definitely higher. The drumming would be better, no question. I think just having a little bit of that other vocal quality of Darren, a little bit of that other guitar quality, I think these would have been good. If these were like the first 5 tracks on a System album that was a comeback album, and they had just a little bit more power from those other live, just because they're so good live, it would be better because it'd be stronger and beefier. It would not be that. It would be decent. It'd be decent. They'd have to write 5 more good songs after this. But if that was the first 5 songs on a System album, I wouldn't be disappointed. I'd say, okay, they did some stuff. They tried some stuff.
Yeah, so he worked with Dan Monti in putting this album together. Once it was either decided or he didn't think that the group would be able to work on these tracks together. Dan Monti, producer, composer, audio engineer. Looks like he's credited for laying down the drum beats and being the bassist. So we know that Serj works on some projects completely alone and plays all the instruments. He did collaborate with this gentleman to put a number of things together. But again, to have the live different person for each of those instruments and to put those pieces together and collaborate would be a very different sound.
Glad we did it. Glad we covered it. It might end up being the epilogue. It might not be. They might do more Scars music. Serj will, of course, make more music. John Dalmayan makes music. I guess Shavo directed the music videos for the 2, at least for Genocidal Humanoids.
Yes.
So he's got his own talents and his own, I don't know if he's done solo records or not, but he's certainly got music talents, video talents. They're all going to keep being who they are.
It's been a journey.
It's been a journey, guys.
Season 2 of Polymuse.
Yeah,
that is a wrap for now.
We'll wrap it.
We'll cover Strays as they come out and add them to the archive. And, of course, post them on the socials. But for right now, we are getting into Season 3. We'll have an announcement on that soon. It's going to be fun.
We love you guys. We'll talk to you next week.
I'm Michael.
My name's Ben. We'll see you at the normal time.
Love ya.